They melt in your mouth, shimmer in glossy foil, and somehow show up in every Easter basket like magic. But have you ever really stopped to think about what it takes to make a chocolate Easter egg? Not just the flavor, but the shape, the shine, the snap when you break one open. It's not just chocolate. It's a process that blends food science, craftsmanship, and a little bit of seasonal tradition. What's behind that perfectly smooth shell? How do chocolatiers get them hollow without collapsing? And why does some chocolate taste so much better than others, even when it's shaped the same? There's a lot more happening inside that egg than you might guess. From the tempering process to the molds, from cooling tunnels to careful wrapping, it's a surprisingly detailed journey from cocoa bean to Easter centerpiece. Let's crack open the story behind one of the season's most iconic treats, the chocolate Easter egg. 1. The secret starts with the bean. From cocoa to chocolate. Before a chocolate Easter egg is even close to being made, it all starts with a small, bitter bean, the cocoa bean. These beans grow inside colorful pods on cocoa trees, mostly found in warm countries like Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. Once the beans are picked, they go through a big change. First, they're fermented and dried under the sun. This step helps bring out that deep chocolate flavor we all love. After drying, they're shipped to chocolate factories around the world. Next, the beans are roasted, kind of like coffee beans. This brings out even more flavor and makes the shells easier to remove. Inside the bean is something called a nib, and that's where the real chocolate lives. The nibs are then crushed and turned into a thick, smooth paste called chocolate liquor. No, there's no alcohol. Just pure liquid chocolate. This is the base for all the chocolate you've ever eaten. From here, chocolatiers add things like sugar, milk powder, and cocoa butter, depending on whether they want dark, milk, or white chocolate. 2. The art of tempering. Why chocolate needs to be treated just right. Making chocolate look and feel amazing isn't just about good ingredients. It's also about how it's handled, especially when it comes to heat. This step is called tempering, and it's a little like giving chocolate a makeover. Tempering means heating and cooling the chocolate to just the right temperatures, in a very careful way. Why? Because chocolate contains something called cocoa butter, and it behaves in strange ways when it melts and cools. If the chocolate isn't tempered properly, it ends up looking dull, with white streaks or spots. It can also feel soft or crumbly instead of smooth and snappy. You know that shiny chocolate that snaps when you break it? That's tempered chocolate. To temper it right, chocolatiers melt the chocolate, then cool it down slowly while stirring. They heat it again just to 3. Molded to perfection. The hollow egg illusion. Now that the chocolate is ready, it's time to create that iconic Easter egg shape. But wait, how do you make an egg that's not solid but perfectly hollow inside? The process might surprise you. It all starts with the molds. Chocolatiers use high-quality molds made of shiny metal or strong plastic. These molds are often designed to create 2 halves of the egg that will fit together perfectly. The process is a bit like crafting a treasure chest, only instead of treasure, it's chocolate. To fill the molds, the melted chocolate is carefully poured in. But here's the trick. The mold is rotated slowly to make sure the liquid chocolate coats every inch of the inside. The chocolatiers keep turning the mold for several minutes so that the chocolate hardens into a smooth, even layer on all sides. This way, you get that smooth, glossy finish that feels luxurious. After the chocolate cools and hardens, it's time to carefully remove the molds. But remember, each half needs to be just the right thickness. Too thin and the egg could crack. Too thick and it might lose its delicate, hollow magic. The result? A beautiful chocolate egg with a perfect light shell and that satisfying snap when you break it open. 4. Cooled, checked, and wrapped, where machines meet mastery. The chocolate egg is almost done, but there's still a crucial part of the process left: cooling, checking, and wrapping. This step might seem simple, but it's where science and skill come together to make sure every egg looks and tastes perfect. First, the chocolate eggs need to cool down. After being molded, they travel through cooling tunnels, huge machines that control the temperature just right. If the chocolate cools too fast, it could crack. If it cools too slowly, the surface won't be as shiny. The cooling process has to be just right for that smooth, glossy finish we love. Next, the eggs go through a quality check. This is when workers carefully inspect each egg for imperfections, cracks, or air bubbles. If any egg doesn't meet the high standards, it gets set aside. It's a pretty important step because nobody wants an Easter egg that's not up to par. Finally, the wrapping process begins. The eggs are carefully wrapped in colorful foil, often by machines that fold and seal it with precision. This step isn't just for looks. It also helps preserve the chocolate and gives the eggs their shiny, festive appearance. Now it's time for those perfectly wrapped eggs to make their way into boxes, ready for Easter celebrations. The perfect balance of machines and craftsmanship is what makes these eggs so special. 5. From factory to festivity. The psychology behind the egg chocolate Easter eggs aren't just a sweet treat, they're a symbol of tradition, celebration, and even renewal. But have you ever wondered why it's specifically an egg, not some other shape, that has become the star of the season? It all goes back to symbolism. Eggs have long been seen as a symbol of new life and rebirth. In many cultures, they represent the start of something fresh and exciting. So what better shape to celebrate the arrival of spring and the joy of Easter? Over time, this meaning was linked to the sweet indulgence of chocolate, but there's more to it. The packaging also plays a huge part in the experience. That shiny, colorful foil wrapping isn't just to make the egg look good, it also adds a sense of anticipation. It's like a present waiting to be opened, and the excitement builds as you peel back the layers. That moment when you finally crack the egg open, it's the same feeling of surprise and joy every year. The egg shape, the foil, and even the tradition of hiding them all create a sense of nostalgia and connection. Easter eggs are not just about the taste. They tap into emotions, memories, and celebrations shared with family and friends. This is why, even as adults, we can't resist that first bite every year. 6. The sweet science of storing and transporting chocolate eggs. Once the chocolate eggs are perfectly made, cooled, and wrapped, the job isn't over yet. Now comes the challenge of getting them from the factory to stores and into your Easter basket without losing that fresh, shiny look. Believe it or not, there's a lot of science behind storing and transporting chocolate eggs so they stay in tip-top condition. For starters, temperature is key. Chocolate can be incredibly sensitive to heat, so these eggs have to be kept at a cool and stable temperature during storage and transport. If they get too warm, the chocolate could melt or lose its smooth texture, turning those perfect eggs into a sad mess. To prevent this, the eggs are often stored in climate-controlled rooms, and when it's time to transport them, they're carefully packed in boxes to minimize shaking or pressure that could crack them. Airflow is also important. Too much moisture or humidity can affect the texture and finish, so air-conditioned trucks or special containers are often used. Once the eggs arrive at stores, they still need to be kept in cool, dry places until they reach you. All this care ensures that when you pick up that shiny Easter egg off the shelf, it's as perfect as when it left the factory. And there you have it, the sweet science behind making chocolate Easter eggs. From the cocoa bean to the shiny foil, every step is carefully crafted to give you that perfect treat. If you enjoyed learning how it's done, hit the like button, subscribe for more fun insights, and don't forget to share this video with fellow chocolate lovers.